day you'll buy a ride on a comet, and you'll ride into the sunset of a planet that's beyond it, beyond the wall of all there is. And you will stash it in your pocket, and you'll take it to Manhattan, man, where your grandma's 10 and you are 10. You're not a family man, you're best friend. And you will hold it together under the oldest running water of the river of each other, with the power of the future. One day you'll ride into the dawning.
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Perpetual Grace Limited. We're on Season 1, Episode 7. It's called Bullface, and boy is there a lot to do today with this show. Very, very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. I am glad that it's confirmed that it's Timothy Spall that plays Deloche. I've been banging my head against the wall saying, that's him. But I didn't see his name in any of the credits. And if you're going, who's Timothy Spall and why the fuck should I care? Well, most people would know him from, like, you know, if you're just a layman, or I shouldn't say it like that, but if you know Harry Potter, and who, like, the majority of people would know Harry Potter. He played Peter Pettigrew in Harry Potter. But he's also done a lot of really, 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 you know, good work in other movies that aren't so, you know, based on children's books. And he was in a little movie called Denial, and here's a little scene if you need a refresher on who Timothy Spall is and who I'm talking about.
If they could have their own news, which they were reading to us, I suppose it would be very interesting. But for the time being, I'd be prepared to accept that the BBC should have a dinner-jacketed gentleman reading the important news, followed by a lady reading the less important news, followed by Trevor McDonald giving us all the latest news on muggings and drug deals.
Rest lost in loud laughter and applause. Are you not appalled by that?
Not in the least. This was a witty speech delivered after dinner to an audience at a private club.
You were talking to a bunch of racists.
They were not. They were perfectly ordinary guests.
Ordinary people? Then why were there cheers?
Well, obviously, they liked the jokes.
Alright, so yeah, that's the gentleman who plays Deloche in this, and he can play anything. I've seen him play just the most despicable people. I've seen him play heroes. I've seen him play villains. He's got it, man. He's got the chops, and he's really, really good. But we start this episode with New Leaf, who back in his prison days was doing barrel work and rodeos, where he would get inside a barrel and a bull would, you know, knock him around. But his speech here, that he's telling us, the audience, that when someone has you over a barrel, puts you against the wall, you got to bring your power down into the dilemma. See red, then barrel into that motherfucker with all you got. And if you ever see somebody with that look on their face, run. And we cut to Deloche, who, you know, when you see him getting out of prison, and clearly he's been incarcerated for a really long time, we get, I would have to say, for me, for just speaking for myself, okay, as far as a television viewer like you, or anybody else, I got the greatest surprise of my goddamn day. I don't think I've seen a more... I said, okay, he gets into this cab, right? And as soon as I heard a voice from off camera say, congratulations, I went, shut the fuck up. Because I was like, you know, they didn't give me a lot of time to prepare emotionally for what was about to happen. But I was like, no. What? Shut the fuck up. And that's when we get, to me, the greatest moment in TV of this year so far, because it just comes out of nowhere. It is so funny and just, how do you think of this? Like, I'm a pretty clever guy, and I don't know if I would ever have could pull off writing a scene like this where I could just say, what if? Well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you'll know what that congratulations meant here in a second.
Every night, 13,000 cabs hit the streets of the city that never sleeps. But only one of them pays you. Climb into the cash cab and I'll quiz you all the way to your destination. As the meter clicks, the questions get harder and the stakes get higher. If you get stumped, you can shout out for help on the phone.
You ever heard of cash cab?
Or off the street. But be careful, because in the cash cab, it's 3 strikes and you're out. So what do you say? You in?
All right, so yeah. Deloche comes to America, gets in his cab, and tries to go to Grand Central Station, and he ends up on Cash Cab, which I used to watch Cash Cab so much. About 11 or so years ago. I used to watch it all the time. It still exists, right? I believe. I don't really watch it now because it was just a special time in my life, I guess, where I was watching it, you know. But this is just genius. This is fucking genius. And it delivers on all levels. An ex-con getting into a cash cab, not knowing, the luckiest man in the world who doesn't know who the Kardashians are. Wouldn't that be a wonderful place? Wouldn't that be a great state of mind to be able to have somebody walk up to you and say, hey, did you hear about Kim Kardashian? And go, who? And mean it? Seriously, lucky. He's a very lucky man. And so we get this whole sequence of Deloche, and I'm just going to talk about this sequence. It's kind of out of sequential order to the rest of the episode, but he's asked all these pop culture references, questions that he doesn't know because he's been in jail forever. He doesn't know who the Kardashians are. He doesn't know who Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is. He's just completely confused, but also very scary like Pa is. And so he's like, you know, doesn't understand the rules. Hey, how about you give a shout out to your boss and see if we can skip ahead to the hard questions. Because he wants to buy a gun. I also love that. Hey, how much how much can I win? Well, it's 3,000's been the max, you know, right now. Well, how much does a handgun cost? Well, I don't know. A couple of $1,000, $3,000. Well, Deloche basically does what would be called, like, if you just suddenly skipped the first round of Jeopardy and went right into the second round, where, you know, I can get a lot of questions in the first round of Jeopardy done, like, pretty good. I can probably do about 75 to 80% of the questions in a first round of Jeopardy, depending. But then the second ones come, and they're the hard ones. And now this is a little bit sped up for humor's sake and time's sake probably, but he just knocks every regular like the stuff that people that have read some books or traveled or, you know, aren't glued to the E-channel would know these questions. I would have known like any of those questions, especially the last one. He asks him, who is the youngest person convicted of a murder? And we get a flashback to the like whatever the juvenile delinquent center in England would be called. I can't remember what it was called. It has a fancier name than what we use. You know, we just call it Juvie. They call it something else. Where there's a dead kid and 2 missing kids. One's Byron, one's Deloche. So Pa and Deloche are missing. And so are a bunch of sheets. And I think I know where Paul Allen Brown got his love of magic, because they pulled a magic trick. All right, they shoved... What is it with me coughing when I'm talking about things going down throats? I did the same thing in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I did another one on my, yeah, I just did that with the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when I talked about the can in the throat. Pardon me. But anyway, they shove the sheets in this guy's mouth, and they pull it out like a fucking magic trick. So Deloche ain't no joke even when he was a kid. But he answers the question right because the answer to the question is himself. He's the youngest person convicted of a murder. And boy, I love the awkwardness of Ben Barnes, is that his name, right? Who has to, like, give him the money and send him on his way. And what a great sequence, man. I mean, Timothy Spall just plays it so straight, and Ben just plays it so confused. It's so great. Seriously, this is one of my favorite moments of any episode of television of the year because it's just so, like, what? But anyway, we go to 2 days ago where James comes clean to New Leaf about what's going on. My name's not Paul. I've got this one plan, this one way to do it. And if you want your parents' money back, this is how we got to do it. You got to lay down. You got to let this guy put the ankle bracelet on you and be the bait and switch because I've got to get to Mexico to get the money. Wesley Walker, yeah, I can remember his name now. Wesley Walker is after me. If he finds me, none of this is going to get done. And so we understand now how the bracelet got on New Leaf's legs. Now, Hannah Mae Lee, wow. So she's something. I thought she was all happy about, well, she was happy about being, like, changed and not incorrigible until she finds out that Pa and Ma, okay, so I guess they're still bad. I was wrong from last episode that money is wrong, that she's good with numbers, and she figured out what they're doing. And so she's pissed that she changed her life and that they conned her into changing for their own needs. And she says a lot of things that I normally wouldn't have a hard time saying, but they string the words along very well that I was just like, well, she does say, I've got a wide open mind and it's wide open again. All the things basically that she could have been doing other than getting better and not being arrested all the time. Fucking dudes, scissoring girls, punching people in the twats, punching twats in the cunt. A whole list of things that come out of her mouth, and that was me paraphrasing. And she wants 65 grand to keep her mouth shut. And they need to get Walker to yogurt, and they need to get Dave to stop talking. And Paul now, I'm like, am I wrong? Then am I wrong about Paul? Like, I feel like everything just keeps changing and flip-flopping my opinions on everybody. Because Paul, once he sees Dave, they seem like father and son. Somebody really close to each other. Like, this is the guy that took me to Star Wars, man. Snuck me in and out. F you, man. Like, and telling him, like, I wouldn't ever hurt anybody. That's real stuff. That's a real thing. I like to do pretend things. So does that mean that Dave killed the girl? But let's see. I gotta get to skipping for I've got a bunch of things. Oh, he says we're past forever love. This is 5 ever love. But Dave says that we need to deliver the bodies, rightfully your parents, which Dave still believes that doesn't know that they're not dead, and so that again puts Paul in a spot because he wants him to stop talking, which he has convinced him to do, to stop talking to Wesley Walker, Texas Ranger. But now he's got to figure out how to do that. And then we got James dealing with this mystery undertaker who is always out of focus. It's really funny. I like his reaction to it. Jesus. New Leaf and Wesley Walker, they're having their own little trip. And Ma and Pa and the cartel are having a little drive together too, where they get to a place full of heroin. And we find out that James's dad really went to space and went crazy. And that when we saw him talking on the phone, it wasn't some metaphor. It wasn't some symbolism. He actually is out there in the streets in a spacesuit because he's become, as they put it, the village idiot. Glenn's dad's the town drunk. James's dad is the village idiot. We should get them together. So that also puts another thing into like, okay, that really is happening. I thought it was just some sort of, cool metaphor that he was like talking to himself, but no, it's a real thing. His dad saw probably the void, the empty abyss of infinite nothing or infinite everything and lost it. And so that's crazy. But also James tells Glenn to give his fresh sombrero to his father because your dad's just a drunk. He's not crazy like his dad went. And he can change the not drinking thing. Oh, and by the way, Glenn's dad's 10 feet away at the bar. Just another great reveal. I'd rather hang out with you than him. But James does the right thing and tells him, take the sombrero over to him, feel the hug. He's give him another chance. And it goes down exactly like that, and it's very sweet. And I just to let everybody know, I plan on starting the hashtag Special Boys Club. I'm going to be using it from now on. I would like that to be the hashtag for people that watch Patriot, people that watch Perpetual Grace Limited. I'd like that for us to be kind of a community thing. Like the Expanse have Screaming Firehawks, why can't we have the Special Boys Club? I would really like to know what you guys think about that. I would also like to know what the people that like Chris and Steve and James and everybody that's been communicating me a little bit, like helping get some of these videos promoted a little bit on Twitter, like Luis Guzman as well. If you guys see this and you think it's a cool idea, I would even make like stickers or something. I would really like to get this started. Some way to kind of help promote it, promote the shows, both of them, because I would like to be a member of the Special Boys Club. I really would. I think it's a cool club because we tell each other about our haircuts and we support each other. And isn't that kind of like a special thing right there? Anyway, James comes clean to Glenn and tells him everything. Which is cool, and it doesn't change Glenn's opinion on him at all. We get now Wesley, Walker, Texas Ranger, and New Leaf have this great scene in the barber shop where Wesley's getting frustrated with him because, look, he knows that James is not New Leaf, and so he's starting to drop some F-bombs, which is, I love Terry O'Quinn saying swearing. I just love it. Fuck. But New Leaf says, like, I'm formerly cruel. I love that. And he gets that, like, we get this great line because he's frustrated, but he's got to get the ankle bracelet off because the pager's been going off, which means his parents are dead, and he's sitting there. So he uses complete sincerity to bullshit Wesley Walker, Texas Ranger. And I'm telling you, I had to write this down because I love this and the delivery. Chris, fucking A, dude. I'm gonna try to do this verbatim. I've never been to Texas, Jack. I've got a Texas gizmo on me here, and you've got no jurisdiction on my goddamn shit. So unless you want to give me a fucking trim, get this bitch off my ankle, toot sweet. That's French, motherfucker, for pronto. That's Italian, motherfucker, for right now. And that's English, Jack, your native tongue. Get it? So get it done. Drop the fucking mic. That is a speech, dude. I mean, if you're gonna like put Terry O'Quinn in his place, oh boy, you could have heard a pin drop after that. So, needless to say, the ankle bracelet comes off, and Wesley has to find information elsewhere, but I don't think he's done with New Leaf, or at least he hasn't erased the memory of New Leaf from himself yet. Pa, we find out he's a little bit outgunned at the cartel place, where just about everybody has a gun on him. I also like New Leaf's kind of internal monologue after this, where he says that on his tombstone it should say "should have known better." Also, Wesley Walker's line that there's a peculiar concentration of activity surrounding all this. I love that. The Lens Crafters Symposium. Again, truth. He tried all that. All this stuff that he's saying is a lie. And that's why I wrote, "Sincerity, thy name is New Leaf." Even if it's partially a lie, so much of this is based in truth and how he really feels, that the only thing he's making up is the part about James and his involvement and all that. And no, we couldn't get Wesley Walker, Texas Ranger, to yogurt this episode. But I don't know. We've still got 3 episodes left. His comment about they lost it all investing in me, showing how, like, his thought process of this, and how he still now plans on, he told James if he didn't have the money he was going to kill him, and so now he's selling his glasses for $2,000 and a gun, which is also funny that Deloche needed a gun and he won it on Cash Cab, and now New Leaf is walking across the desert with a great big gun with an American flag on it, and I do believe that when James sees New Leaf, he's going to see Bullface. So anyway, that's this episode. I hope you guys liked watching this review. I hope you like hearing my take on this review, on this episode. I enjoyed this episode so much. I gotta say again, you guys just keep knocking it out of the park. Great directing by James Whitaker. Great writing by Bruce Terrace and Steve Conrad. Great acting by Chris Conrad and everybody else in this episode. Jimmy Simpson. Oh man, like even when he's sitting still, he's contemplating. And Harriman as Paul is great. Hannah Mae Lee is great. Everybody in this is so fantastic. The only person I don't think that wasn't in this episode was Liz Guzman. And I miss you, Hector. I need some more Hector. So anyway, if you liked this review, please hit that like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please become a subscriber. We're getting really close to 1,000, and then I can finally unclench. Hit the bell for all notifications. Share this video with everybody. Share this video. If you like this show, share it. It has to be seen by everyone. So this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying have a great night, and we will see you later. Bye.